Hello everyone, it's AJ and welcome back to the channel. Got another movie review for you today, that being James Wan's new horror movie, Malignant. So yeah, let's talk about this film, let's find out my thoughts on it and whether I recommend it to you for a watch. Okay, so James Wan has made quite a name for himself. He's a big director. Now he had directed the original Saw film, which was a fantastic film at the time with a fantastic twist. Among other things, he went on to create the Conjuring universe. He directed Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2. Again, very good horror films. In the sense that they're sort of jump scare films, not horror. You know, they're sort of based in more in reality, shall we say. Most recently, he's directed for the DC universe. Aquaman. Yeah, Aquaman was a huge hit. And after Aquaman, the amount of bank that made, James Wan would have been given pretty much free rein to do whatever he wanted. He decided to come back and make a smaller scale film, that being this film. I got to watch this film last night and I thought I'd share what I thought. Yeah, a little bit about the story, and I'll try not to spoil the film. I don't want to spoil the film. So the film opens in the past, in this sort of medical facility where there's this something that's killed a load of people, killing a load of people, and it communicates across using radio waves, and you don't know what it is, you're not shown what it is and all this sort of thing. You just know that it's killed a number of people, it's evil. Yeah, you don't know, and then the film jumps forward in time and we meet the primary character of the film. She's in an abusive relationship and she's pregnant, heavily pregnant, and her boyfriend abuses her and she hits the back of her head. She locks herself in a room, the boyfriend's downstairs in the house, and some strange goings-ons occur and he's subsequently killed, and she sees what has done it. She goes down, she sees him dead, and she sees what has done it, and there's this entity or this thing there. And yeah, it's, you know, sort of standard horror tropes. As the film progresses, there are other killings that go on via this entity, this thing, this creature, whatever we shall call it at this point. I'm being cagey for you as a viewer, knowing that you may go into the film. The police get involved, obviously, because there's these killings going on, and the finger starts sort of pointing at her. Then, you know, towards the end of the film, we do get a reveal as to what is occurring, but I don't really want to go into this story because you may want to watch this film, and I believe in not, you know, I don't. If I was going to spoil the film, I'd let you know, and I don't want to spoil the film for you. But let's get into my thoughts on the film. Now, I'm not big on horror. I don't really like horror films. They're just not my cup of tea. Number one, they don't scare me, so they sort of fail on that front. And number two, as a genre, it's not something I really go to. I mean, I've got a collection of horror films, primarily sort of the franchises that I grew up on, the Elm Streets, the Jasons, you know, that sort of slasher type, Chucky, this sort of thing. The Conjuring franchise I think is fine. I quite enjoy that. I don't mind that as a series. But yes, so I find horror something difficult to consume, but I know that it has a big fan base out there, and good luck to them. I appreciate that. Now, for me, going into this film, I was a bit reluctant because, like I said, this isn't really my cup of tea. And to be honest, I was bored. I was bored from the beginning all the way through, up until the reveal of what was actually going on. Then it was like, oh, you know, a bit of interest now. That's actually, I didn't see that coming. I was sort of on track, but I didn't quite see exactly what it was, even given the title of the film. But I knew roughly where it was going to go. You know, I was in the ballpark, so to speak. But yeah, so the film bored me up until that point. And then there was a bit of intrigue, and the last sort of third of the film, it wasn't too bad. Now, I'm not knocking the film, all right, because James Wan has a fantastic style, and he's a fantastic director. And in this, the film is directed fantastically. It looks fantastic. You know, the all the elements are there on screen, so I'm not knocking the film in that sense. The reason I was bored is me, and I know that because this isn't my cup of tea. This isn't my sort of film. So I'm not knocking the film in that sense. I can tell that it was as well made. I can tell it's well produced. Or I had some issues with the special effects revolving the thing in it. Some of it reminded me a bit of Blade 2. You know, the CGI wasn't too great in places. You know, but the reveal was good. So yeah, so the film is well shot. It's well written, and it's well acted, you know, and the horror's there on screen, the jump scares are there, this sort of thing. So I can't fault the film in that sense. So as a recommendation, would I recommend you watch it? Yeah, I would recommend you watch this film. It's not a film I'd ever watch again. It's not a film I'd feel the need to own on physical media, because I would never revisit it. But I can appreciate the craft of the film. You know, I can appreciate the musical score was pretty good in places. That stood out. The camera movements, the shots, that was all, you know, that was all fantastic. James Wan is a fantastic director. You know, there's no denying that. My only issue with this film is that it isn't my sort of film. So yeah, so it's a funny one. In conclusion, it's a funny one because I'm going to give you a thumbs up. Now I only give I give 3 sort of levels for a film. I can't recommend it. I can recommend it, or it's sort of middling ground. I don't give a 1 to 10 because it's an arbitrary number. And when you start looking at tons and tons of films, it just doesn't come together, because, you know, I could give a film a 5. And then I could give another film a 5, but when you compare these 2 films right next door to each other, there's a massive difference in quality. So numbers don't work in my head. So is this film for me? No, it's not. But would I recommend you watch this film? Yes, I would, because it's a fantastically made film. But it bored me, and that's on me. That's not on the film itself. Because I'm sure that a load of people would watch this film and they'd get a lot of enjoyment out of it, because it is very well made. So here's a film that's not for me. I don't want to say I hated it. I didn't hate it. It did bore me. It's just, you know, I can appreciate it for what it is and the work that went into it, and that's all fine. Just not my cup of tea, yeah. So that's it. I'm going to leave the review there. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've seen the film, what your thoughts on it are. Go and see it. It's, you know, if this is your genre of film, then you'll get something out of it. If you enjoy this sort of film, you will get something out of it. So anyway, this is AJ. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, leave me a comment, hit the notification bell, join me on Facebook. All that, yeah. So this is AJ. I'm getting away, and I'll see you next time round. Take care all. Goodbye.